What's up guys, and welcome to the 1 year anniversary episode of FristerMo! Woo! Yay, we made it a year! Who'd have thought I'd have made one video every single week for an entire year? And we've gained a whole 192 subscribers in that time frame, and my challenge to you guys is to share this week's video and try and get to 200. I would love it to make it to 200 on my 1 year anniversary. If I just bring one smile to your face today, share this video with your friends and family, and we'll spread the laughter and happiness together. Alright, enough of that hippie stuff, let's get down to it. I thought it would be pretty appropriate to do the My First Time challenge tag, seriously, every time, for the 1 year anniversary. So, let's do it. Alright, what was my first tweet? My first tweet was on April 5th, 2009, and it read, starting up this Twitter business, double ellipses. What to do with it? Double question mark. With a glass of wine. Single smiley face. Good one. I'm not very good with the tweety business. What was my first YouTube video? Now, I didn't start with just one video. I actually started with my channel trailer, my very first Loot Crate unboxing, and the first part of my Across the Pond series, so I started with 3 YouTube videos. Who was the first person you subscribed to on YouTube? It was Ray William Johnson's Equals 3 channel, and it was in 2010, I think. What was your first Facebook picture? That one. I was drunk. I had longer hair. Apparently I was really happy to be alive. What a charmer. Do you still talk to your first love? I do, from time to time, yeah. What was your first alcoholic beverage? It was a pineapple Bacardi Breezer when I was 15 years old, because I'm cool. Or 14. I don't remember how old I was. But it was illegal. My parents were cool. They bought them for me. What was your first job? I was Santa at the Guildhall Shopping Centre in Exeter. Of course, not the real Santa. He was just very busy at that time of year and asked me for his help. He said, you know what? I'm really busy. Come to the North Pole. I'll teach you. Have a beard. Have a suit. This is all from me. I want you to take care of it. Spread the good cheer. So, I did. What was your first car? My first car is actually Lottie and I's first car, and it was a Honda Civic. And he's called Cripply Tim, because I gave him a nice snaggletooth within the first couple of months of ownership. Who was the first person to text you today? My wife, to say good morning. Who was the first person you thought of this morning? My wife, because she was up and I wasn't, and she was getting ready for work, and I gave her sleepy goodbyes. Bye-bye, have a good day. And then she texted me later to say good morning, and so we could actually have a conversation. Who was your first grade teacher? She was called Mrs. Marshall at Broadhempston Primary School. Where did you go on your first ride in an airplane? I went to Switzerland because that's where my grandmother lived, and I don't remember the flight. Who was your first best friend, and do you still talk? His name is Matty, and we've known each other since I was born, and we grew up together, and we do still talk. I see him every time I go home. Where was your first sleepover? Well, it would also have been Matty's house, although I didn't complete my first sleepover because I was lame and got homesick a lot. What was the first thing I did this morning? Turned my alarm off and went back to bed? When I got out of bed, I would have peed and then fed Pippin. Sorry, peed, washed my hands, and then fed Pippin. Because I'm hygienic, you know? What was the first concert you ever went to? Muse at Exeter West Point, and it was when Absolution had just come out, and it was incredible. What was your first broken bone? I have never broken a bone. I am one of the few individuals who are very lucky. Touch wood. What was your first piercing? My one and only piercing is my top cartilage piercing. What was the first foreign country you've gone to? Switzerland, because that was the first place I went on a plane. What was the first movie you remember seeing? Disney's The Aristocats is the first video I ever had on VHS, and I don't remember going to the movies before that. When was your first detention? I think it was grade 9. I didn't get detention for a really long time because I was a good student, but during form time I think I was giggling with a friend or something, and my form room teacher put me in detention and I had to sit in the gym for like my whole break or recess or lunchtime. Who was your first roommate? The first person I ever lived with away from home was Lottie, so my wife. If you had one wish, what would it be? I've always wished that I could fly. What was the first sport you were involved in? I'm gonna go ahead and say football, which is the one with the feet, soccer. That was the first sport I was ever in a club with and actually participated in competitions and stuff. What is the first thing you do when you get home? Either kiss my wife or say hello to my overexcited doggy. And finally, when was your first kiss? My first kiss, I don't count it, I was intoxicated and in a tent, and I believe I was 15. But my real first kiss that was intentional and good and with a girlfriend was when I was also 15 in Exeter. And that's it! That's the end of the first year of FristerMo on YouTube. I can't believe we've shared so much and grown so much together, internet friends. Thank you once again for being a loyal subscriber to my channel for the first year of my online YouTubey life. Alright guys, you know the drill. I have last week's video right up top. If you missed it, go ahead and click on that little guy in the top corner, or you can check it out in the link below. And I would love it if you subscribe to my channel or share this video with your friends so they can subscribe to my channel. I'm 8 subscribers away from 200. We can do this. 1 year, 200 subscribers. Click the red button. It doesn't hurt, doesn't cost you anything, and I have big smiles on my face. Alright, enough weirdness. See you next week. Bye!